Hello, one more time, making a small video. We have a project. We gotta go to Sacramento, California. Actually, Oakland, California. We gotta do install several locks and several closers and do so on, job. We have these locks. I'll switch the camera so we can see them better. We got these locks to be rekeyed to the same key. So let me flip the camera. Camera's flipped. Okay, we got these three locks. These are trilogy lever locks. They have a keypad and they also have a cylinder lock. But the issue here is these three locks have different keys. Each lock has its own key. Therefore, we need to rekey two of those locks. It doesn't matter which two. We have to rekey two to the other one. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those cylinders right there and rekey two of those three to the other one so they all have the same key. That way the customer only needs one key to open all three locks and doesn't have to carry three keys, one for each lock, so on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to remove those locks, those cylinders, and we go through the process of rekeying them to the same key. We are ready to start with the process. We got our setup, we got our lights. Obviously we need lights. We got our working bench, which is a pool table that I'm not using anyways. So we got a whole bunch of blank keys in case we need keys. We have extra screws. We have our three locks. We have a cup of coffee. We need that. We got a couple of screwdrivers. We got a key gauge. We got a follower. And we got our kit for Schlage and Quickset. In this case, it's Schlage. That's the brand of the key we are working with. So we are ready. We'll start by removing the cylinders. We got our pin. This pin is needed to remove the handle. We're gonna have to come up with the key because to remove this little guy here, we need the key to remove it and to install it. Without removing it, I made a previous video where I had to remove this little guy without the key. So I had to go through the inside here, through the inside of the lock, all the way back to the handle, just to release the cylinder. So a little bit of work to get it done, but it's doable. So I'm gonna grab the keys for each lock and go ahead and remove the cylinders. I have gathered up all the keys. That one has a key, that one has a key, and this one has a key. So I got all the keys ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the process of removing the cylinders so we can have them rekey. To remove the cylinder, we need our trusty little pen. This is what we do. We turn the key, and I'm just saying this for those of you that don't know how to remove a cylinder. I mean, I'm sure most of you will do know how, or a lot of you know how to do it. But if there's someone out there that doesn't know how to do it, well, this is how you do it. You turn your key a quarter of the way. Otherwise, if you don't turn the key, the lock will not come off. So you turn a quarter of the way, you use your pin, and the handle is off. So what you do, you remove this little guy, this little plastic insert, and remove the key, and the cylinder comes out. So we got the lock cylinder. We set it aside. We put our little gadget back together. This little insert holds the cylinder in place so it won't be wobbly. And if you lose that, you gotta have another one. And I had to purchase one once, and it cost me $10 for it. And it took me forever to get it because nobody has one laying around. Well, somebody did, and I ended up buying it for $10. It took me a week to get it via eBay. Anyway, our lock cylinder is being removed. We set the lock aside. Now we have our key. We set that with the cylinder, so we won't lose that. We're gonna need it to rekey it. So we have our other cylinder, our other lock. Same thing. We flip it, turn the key, poke it out. It's out. We take our insert, take out the cylinder, set it aside with the key. We have to put it together so we won't lose it. Put our insert back together, like so. I don't have to put it back together, but I want to because, like I said, if I lose it, I have a pile of old locks that I always throw away. And I save them for a little bit, just in case I need a part, like, in case I lose a spring or something, because I have to take the lock apart now and then. And if I lose a spring, if I lose a little screw, I'm in trouble. So I save the old locks for a little while, or at least strip out whatever I need for other locks and then throw them away. So anyways, this is our third lock. Is ready to be removed. Shrink it all the way. Poke the pin out. It comes out. So on. It's pretty simple. But if you don't know how, I mean, you will never get the lock removed. It happened to me once. I was working for someone else. I wasn't working on my own yet. And I had to go remove a lock somewhere or install a new lock. And they wanted to use the old cylinder so they can have their own key or the same key they had before. I guess they have several other locks with the same key. And I couldn't remove the cylinder. I just couldn't do it. I know you had to poke on the little hole right there to remove it, but I just didn't know you needed the key and turn it quarter of the way. So I just poke and I couldn't get it out. So I said, the hell with it. I'm going to go back to the office. I got back to the office and my foreman, I told him, hey, I couldn't remove the cylinder. For some reason, this is stuck and it doesn't come out. And he goes, oh, did you turn the key like this and you poke it out like this? And did you do it like this and like that? And did you do it like this? I'm like, no, I did everything but turn the key. He goes, well, if you don't turn the key, it won't come out. Otherwise, anybody will just poke on that and pull it out. Once the lock is out, the cylinder is out, stick a screwdriver and turn it, open the lock. So they have this little fixture that it will not open if you didn't turn the key. So now I know. Anyways, we have our locks cylinder removed. We got number 1, number 2, and we got the third one. So we got the 3 cylinders ready to be rekeyed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up and ready so we can start picking them apart. And to do that, we gotta start by making a little sketch. The little sketch that I make is like this. I make a little log drawing, like a little key drawing. It's not a key, but that's what I make, like that. A little drawing like that. And then I go like this. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pins. Sometimes they are 5 and sometimes they are 6. And this here, I'll tell you where they are. They are 5 pins. So this is 5 pin. This is 5 pin. And this is 6 pin. So we're gonna rekey. It doesn't matter which key to which one, but you gotta rekey 2 to the other one. So this one being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pin, it's gonna be different than the 5 pin, but it's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's just the key is a little longer than the other one. You put the keys together. That one is just a little bigger than the other one, which is not going to be a difference. We'll get a pin anyway. We just have to remove one of the pins and make it work with 5 pins instead of 6. So that's how we can start gauging the key. We'll start with either one, but I'm gonna rekey everything to, let me just find the right key for this one, and I'll rekey everything to this one. So this is the right key. I'm gonna rekey everything, or the other two, to this one. So I'll put this aside, so we'll mix it up. We're gonna proceed to gauge the key. I'm gonna try to do it on the camera so we can see it. And to gauge the key, that's why I made the little sketch with the 1 through 6. So this is how you do it. This little gauge here has a slag and a quick set. Being slag, we're gonna use the bottom one. I don't know if you can read it, but it says right here, it says slag. That's the one. So we start by doing this. We go to the first gap there, to the first key cutout, and I can't really see it because I'm trying to show the camera, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like a 6. The way you figure is you stick the key and you turn it out and you slide it all the way till it hits. It doesn't go any farther. Then you look at the number, and that's actually number 5. Can't really see, it's too small, but it's a number 5. So this is what you do. Once you figure out it's a number 5, you write down number 5. And then you go back to your other cutout, and you go to the second cutout, and then you go like this, and it doesn't go any farther. So that is a number 1, 2, because we got a 0, 1, 2, and it goes on all the way to 9. So we go on it, and it doesn't go any farther than 2. So it's a 2. So we do 5, 2, and so on. We go on down to the third one. That one is a 6. It doesn't go any farther than 6. Let me see. Let me stick it on the right one because I stick it on the wrong one. Okay, it's actually a 7. 5, 6, 7. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a 7. So we got 5, we got 2, we got 7. And then we got our other one. This one is a 9. See how it goes all the way down to 9? It's a 9. We got a 9. And so on. We just do that to all of them and figure out what they are. And I'm going to show you next how to remove the pins and how to put the new pins back in and how to make it a new key. Okay, so this is how we can start to remove the core, which is this is the core inside. Excuse me. That's the one that holds the pins. The pins go all the way up here. They got a spring, a top pin, and then this is called a shear line. And then below that, and this little guy that turns, is the bottom pins. When you stick the key, those pins being different size, you know, matching the cutouts, pushes the key, the pins up, and kind of end up looking like this, flat on the shear line. Therefore, you could turn the key and open the lock. So that's how the locks work. Now, I'm not a locksmith or anything. I'm sure there's a rule on this little sketch. I believe the rule is you start by the tip of the key. So you start measuring, gauging the key from here all the way down. But, I mean, I just do it the way I do it. And it works the same. It's just it's going to be a rule to that, so where you do it properly. But anyways, so this is how you do it. You start by removing this little, it's a C-clip. I don't know if you can see, but it's a C-clip right there holding this little guy. This is the tailpiece. So the C-clip has to be removed. So there I will use a little pressure to remove it, and it's out. You can see sometimes it jumps all over the place and it gets lost. So there's a little guy there. We'll put it aside. We'll put the little tailpiece aside. Now we gotta remember, if we stick the key and remove it, remove the cylinder, all the little springs and all the little pins and everything is going to jump out all over the place. And then we had to start from scratch by putting all the little top pins inside there, all the little springs, and all the pins and all the bottom. It's a mess. I mean, I done it before. It takes a while to get it done. It's easier to just get a new lock and do it over. But if you only got one lock, you only have this lock, and you have to do it. There's a way to do it, and I think, let me see if I can find it and show you real quick. I don't seem to have it on me, but anyways, they're little tweezers like the ones you use to pick on your eyebrows, to plug your eyebrows. Pretty much the same, but, oh, here it is. I have it. There you go. This is a little tool. It's really small and it's really handy. At the very tip, it has the little cylinder shape. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's a little cylinder shape at the very tip. That has the shape of the pin. If I have a pin laying around like so, and if I have to stick it inside there, I will get it like this, and it will hold the pin like that. And it's really easy to stick it back inside the lock, but it's not as easy as it looks. It's a hassle because you gotta go all the way inside there and stick it in, and then with this guy there, hold it in place. It needs to go one by one all the way out. It's a pain in the butt, but I've done it before. I don't like doing it, but I did it because I needed the one lock. I only have one, and I messed it up, so it took me forever, but I did it. Anyways, so this is how we remove it. This little guy here is called the follower. I guess because he follows the core out. Like I said, if I take it out, it will come out. If I having the key in there, I could turn it, and this little guy will come out. It will come out and take the core out, but all the springs are going to pop up. So I turn this little guy. See this little notch right there? We have to make sure this little lump is lined up with that. If we pull it right there, the springs are going to drop in there because this thing is flat. So when it goes in there, it's going to drop in there. So we go like this. We turn it right about there. And then we use our follower. And we're going to keep pressure on it. Hold it with our hand right here so it won't pop off and fall out and lose all the springs. And then with my other hand, stick it and push it. See the pins are falling out, but we don't need those. See, it's already out. So we got it out. The pins already came out because I had it upside down. But anyways, we're gonna repin it. So we set this little guy aside. We don't want to take that out because if we take that out, all the springs are gonna come out. So we already have. I actually had to redo my sketch, and it was a 1 instead of a 2. But anyways, it's a 5, 2, 7, 9, 3, and 7. So it's a 6 pin, and this is a 6 pin as well. If you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pin, and our key is a 6 pin. So we rekey this to a 6 pin because this is what this other one is. This other one is already keyed to the 1 key. So anyways, we are going to pin this guy to a 6 pin, and we start by bringing our springs so we got the springs. See, if you ever lose the little springs, they pop out and get lost. We have the little springs right there. It's just, you don't like doing it, but you have to do it sometimes. But anyways, we have our sketch, and it's showing that we got a 5, 2, 7, 9, and 3, and 7. So this is what we do. I already got a mark because day one I marked them by number, so I know exactly what they are because they look the same. It's just different color. But then when you order refills, they come in different colors sometimes, so they come all silver. So you have to have a number just to know what they are. So it's a 5, 2, 7. So we go look for the 5. We got the 5 little pin. Make sure we stick it the right way, because I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but this little thing has a little tip. The little tip is tapered. That's the part that touches the key. So we go stick it in the first hole. That's our 5, and then we can stick the key there just to have the key in there, and that way it shows flush at the very top. That's because it's the right one. If it was the wrong one, it will be like this. sunk in or sticking out. So anyways, we have a 5. We have a 1. We'll stick our 1 in the second chamber. That's 2. 7. We got our number 7 right here. We find the number 7. We put it the right way. See, they're all flush. We got a 5, a 2, and the 7. And then the next one is a 9. Here's the 9. And we'll stick the 9 in the 4th chamber. And then we need a 3. Just to making sure that I'm showing the camera. We got our number 3 flush as well. And the last one is a number 7. So we have a number 7. We throw it in there. We got our 6 pins or 6 key pins back together. See, that's how they work. If you stick the wrong key, it will look like this. And obviously, it's not going to open. If it looks like that, it will not open the lock. If it looks like, this is the only way it's going to open the lock. If it looks like any other way, by sticking the wrong key, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like that. It will never look like this, only with the right key. So, let me do it again. I think I wasn't showing the camera. So, anyways, I was saying, when you stick the wrong key, it looks like this. Like those shapes. So it won't work. It has to look like this, flush. Otherwise, it will not open the lock. So, having the right key, it will always work. Now, we have our little guy here aside hooked up with the follower. And we are ready to put it back in there. Okay, we got to make sure we don't put this little guy like this, because once the first pin goes in, it's going to pop inside the spring, and then that's it. You won't be able to open it no more. So you need to stick it like this. It's a little like that. So this little guy here runs along this little hump in the groove. So you stick it like this. You turn it a quarter of the way or so. And then you slowly stick it in there without separating this from the other one. This follower has to be touching the core at all times. Otherwise, the springs will pop out and you have a mess. There you go. So it's all the way in. So it's in. Now, if I pull it out, it will come out because nothing is holding it together. But it's going to show you that if I take the key out without losing everything is working. And then I stick the key back in there. And the key turns like it should. So it's working good. Now what we need to do is put the clip and the tailpiece, otherwise we can lose. Once you take the key out, it's secure, it will not come out. But if you stick the key in there and pull it out for some reason, it comes out like that. It will come out. So anyways, you take the key out so we will have an accident. The key's out. Now we'll go ahead and put our tailpiece. The tailpiece on this particular lock, let me move this out of the way. The tailpiece on this particular lock is like this. It could go like this, like that, crossways, but in this case, it goes like this. So we have our tailpiece. We stick this little clip sideways like that, and then we bring it close. And we have to push it in with a screwdriver or something flat. There you go. It snaps in place. It's secure. Now we have the key that opens this one, and the same key opens this one. See, we've done 2 so far. Also, we've done 1. We have 2 that have the same key. For the third one, I need to find it first because I don't think you took a walk somewhere, but I have it here somewhere. Let me gather it up and I'll turn the camera back on. I found it. It was sitting right in front of me the whole time. Okay. So this is the good key. Let's call it the good key. The key that we need for the 3 locks. Opens not this one because this is how we haven't pinned that one, but it opens this lock that was the existing, and the other lock that we just pinned to the existing key. Now this one still doesn't open with the new key, but it does open with the old key because this is the key they came with. So To remove this little guy and make it the other key, this is what we're gonna have to do. Same process we did earlier with the other one. It will be to remove this little C clip right here. Well, sometimes it's a little difficult, but it always comes out. We'll pop it out. There you go. We have the C clip. Put it aside. We have a tail piece. Put that aside. Now, like I said before, this little guy now will come out. And if he does come out, we'll lose all the pins. So, same way, we got our follower, turn the key either way, but a quarter of the way. And we'll put this guy flush with it and slowly push in. You can hear the little pins falling out, but we don't need those. There you go. It's already out to the other side. So this little guy has to stay in there the whole time. Okay. We already know what the pins are, so we'll bring our lab pin set closer, and we start by doing obviously this is the old key. We don't need that old key. We need the new key. This is the new key now. We'll put this key and everything's going to flush properly with the new pins. 5 and a 2. So we start with getting a 5. We'll stick a 5 on the first chamber. We stick a 2 in the next chamber. And then we go on with the 7. And so on. We get all our pins. We get our 9, and we get our, what is it? Here is the number 3. We'll stick the number 3 in there, and the last one will be a 7. We'll get that 7, put it in there, and everything looks flush. I don't know if you can see, but the number 2 there is a little off. It's a little long. It might be a number 3. So I'll remove that. Sometimes they jump one to the other by accident and they get mixed up. These little guys, once you take them out of the log, you just throw them away. It's not worth the effort of trying to reuse them unless you know exactly where they go, but it's just a hassle. You could buy, I don't know, 20 of those little guys for like 50 cents, so it's not worth keeping them. I think I put the wrong one because the second one is a number 1 instead of a 2. It's a number 1. So there you go. Now they look flush all the way. So this should be the right set of pins. Okay, we bring our little guy back, turn a quarter of the way, just like that, and we slowly stick it in there all the way down, like so. Okay, that's in, and like I said, it will come out. If we pull it out, it will come out, and all the things will jump out. So we gotta be careful with it. We turn it the right way, take the key out. That way, it will not come out. Now, we put our tail piece, we already know it goes this way. And whatever the little C clip is, oh, here it is. It's silver. It's a little hard to see. Okay, so stick that in there sideways. We turn it a little. It's really hard to go in sometimes, but we'll get it to go in. Okay, it's in properly. Now let's try our new key. Obviously, it works because we tried it just now. We were pinning it. Okay, the key works on the one cylinder, and the same key works on the other cylinder, and the same key works on the third cylinder. So we have successfully repinned those 2 black cylinders to the 1. So now all 3 have the same key. All we got pending is to stick each one on one of the locks. Doesn't matter which one because they're all the same now. And one key will open all 3. So customer has to carry just 1 key to get access to the 3 locks. So this is pretty handy, especially when you're doing 20, 30, sometimes even 100 locks, like in a school or a big building that has plenty of locks. So you want to have each lock with a key. Somebody's had to carry, like the security guard will have to carry 100 different keys just for the locks, and then he's got a whole other bunch of locks on the same building. So he's gonna carry 150 keys, a big old key ring that big, for no reason. So, anyways, this is how we have repeated the lock. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut off for a second and get rid of all this equipment and go over the process of putting the locks back together. Okay, we are set up. We have our new just key locks or cylinders. So we'll start by pulling the first handle out. We don't have to use the key because it doesn't have a cylinder. So we'll stick this little guy, like I said before, in the handle. We have we drop the cylinder. We'll pull the little retainer in there. Everything is in place. We stick the key. Turn it a quarter of the way, like so. And we'll stick the handle back into the lock. And it should snap in place like that. We take the key out. Our handle is not removable anymore. It's working properly. We have the right key. We stick the key, and everything works. So we are at this point finished with this lock. Put that aside. We'll have our next lock. We pull the handle out, remove our little insert, pop any of the cylinders in. Sometimes they want to fight back, but we get it, man. We'll get this one lined up. Dropped it. Drop the little insert. Like that. Stick our key. Turn it just a little. Line up our lock. Push it in there. Had a little accident. The little insert came off. For some reason, this little insert doesn't want to go in there, but it won't beat us. We'll get it in. Okay, like so. Our phone cut off for a second because it got too hot. Go figure. It's not even hot out here, but it got too hot and it turned off. Anyways, here's the second lock. And we got a third lock. And same thing, we remove the handle and get our lock cylinder ready. We have the key that works with it. So we'll just take out the plastic insert, drop the lock in the cylinder, drop it in there, put our retainer back together, make sure the little guy is showing flush like that. Okay, we stick our key in the back, turn it a quarter of the way, and get our lock straight, push it in, turn the key back, it's in. Now we have the 3 locks with the same key. And this is how you rekey a lock. It doesn't have to be a trilogy lock. This is what I'm doing today, but it's the same purpose to do any other lock. You just have to have the key to be able to remove the cylinder, and the cylinder has to be removed before it's pinned. So therefore, you always need a key. If you lose the key and you still have to repin it, I mean, a locksmith will pick it. We'll stick a little gadget there and little picks and pick the lock open. I won't be able to do it. done it once or twice, and it took me forever. So I just remove the lock and take it all apart and go from the inside and open it and do it that way. Anyways, that's how I do it. Hope you like the video. Subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you very much.